Welcome to The Next Level, where we speak with Durham entrepreneurs. The Next Level explores what's next in business, public affairs, technology, education, and big ideas, and speaks to leading minds from Durham region, Canada, and around the world on what it takes to be the next big thing. Today, we speak to a local entrepreneur and drummer who is taking his passion for percussion and turning it into something that can be spread around the world in a new school designed to teach the beauty of the beat to others.
We will be introducing him to Jerry Marotta, one of North America's most respected and successful drummers who has worked with talent like Peter Gabriel, Paul McCartney, Sarah McLachlan, and countless others.
Hello, I am Sean Glover, and I'm a professional drum instructor in the Durham region. I've been playing drums for about 23 years. I've started practicing and performing magic and mentalism as well. Mentalism is a form of magic. We're projecting the illusion of a sixth sense, if you will, so mind reading, cutlery bending, prediction effects, things like that. The biggest thing for me is the performance aspect. Currently, I perform more magic than I do with my drums at this time. I do more teaching right now when it comes to drumming. The moment I pick up my drumsticks, I can instantly feel connection to the drums that are in front of me. So I started the drum school in 2016. I was teaching, of course, before that, but decided to brand it at that point. And then I quickly got a reputation in the area for teaching. I offer online lessons. The in-person lessons I offer at my studio here, as well as in the client's home. Music is, I'd say, is a good career for me because anything with drums, it just makes me feel good. I tend to do everything I can to make sure that when I wake up every day, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Let's crank this shit out to 11! Okay.
Welcome to the show. It's great to have you join us.
It's great to be here.
So tell me about the world of drumming. Like, how did you get started and, what attracted you to it?
Went the road of drumming because one day I saw a friend of mine I was in grade 6, end of grade 6, and we were gonna pick our instruments for the following year. And a friend of mine took some drum lessons at that time, and he started playing a beat. And I thought, that sounds really cool. I wanna be able to do that. And I tried it, and didn't sound very good, but I thought I could probably do this if I put my mind to it. I just had that feeling. I don't know how else to explain it. It just took off from there. I was so fascinated and so interested and passionate about it.
Let's talk about that because you've taken your passion and you've turned it into a unique business. Do you see yourself as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I do. I like the idea of having multiple sources of income, especially coming out of the pandemic. I was trying to find different sources even at that time, or expanding, I should say, on what I already do. Started teaching online lessons.
Were you an entrepreneur first, and then you took that and applied it to your love for drumming, or vice versa, or how would you describe that relationship?
Kind of the other way around. I just started drumming, and all I wanted to do was drum. And then eventually when I started teaching, all I wanted to do was teach. I stopped gigging for a while. I just kind of got a bit burnt out from the scene. And I thought all I want to do is teach drums, and I didn't even practice for about 2-3 years. And I ended up getting into magic and mentalism. And so now I've got 2 streams of income. And then I thought, you know what, I don't have to just drum. I can do whatever makes me happy. And the more things that I find that I enjoy and I'm passionate about, the better.
So from a pure business end then, tell me about how you build a brand as a drummer or a drum school. I mean, how did this actually come together? Maybe explain to me some of that journey.
So I started teaching, and I started working at some other places teaching lessons as well. Had my own students on the side as well. I'd say about 10 or so years went by. And a friend of mine said, you should really put a brand to what you're doing. And I said, yeah, it's probably a good thing. And that was around the time I started getting more into that sort of entrepreneur mindset where I'm like, I want to brand things. I want people to remember my name. He almost immediately thought of the drum school.
And where do you find them, or how do they find you?
I advertise on a couple websites. I advertise on Kijiji even, and as well as on Google My Business.
Are they hobbyists? Are they people who are serious about a career? Like, is there a common demographic? Like, how does that work?
It definitely varies. I don't find that there's a lot of students that come to me that say, I want to play drums, I want to be a drummer, period. But I want to do everything I can to be a drummer. You can't expect everyone to be super passionate about this one thing that you are. You know, I get mostly kids and teenagers, and then I get maybe a handful of adults. The kids tend to stay longer. The adults get busy with life and then they move on.
As they do.
I understand.
Do you think there is a big difference between how an artist sees the world and how an entrepreneur sees the world?
That's a good question. Sitting down, playing an instrument that you like to play, or doing something creative, painting or whatever it is that you're into, that's when just all of a sudden, boom, you've got an idea. My creative side always comes out first. I thought, this would be cool if I did this. And I'm in that sort of meditative state, usually when that happens. I think there's a bit of almost a push-pull sort of with the being a business person and being creative.
Are there some hard lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur? I mean, I'm guessing it hasn't always been a smooth ride. What are some of or at least one lesson that you've learned that you would share with someone?
Diversify. We're moving, of course, as everyone knows now, into a super tech-based society, and it's just going to keep going further. I think if you don't diversify, you're putting all of your eggs into one basket, and poof, it's gone. And now what do you have? Because if I was just teaching lessons at this point, it would have been even harder for me the past couple of years.
Are you ready to take your vision to the next level?
I am.
So what we've arranged is a conversation with Jerry Marotta, who is probably one of North America's most respected and well-known geniuses of percussion. So if you're ready, we'll go and meet Jerry.
That'd be great. Speaking with Jerry, I think that would be cool. I do speak with drummers here and there, but not often do I get a chance to actually sit down with a seasoned, professional.
Jerry Marotta, welcome to the next level. Really great to have you join us.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Sean.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're calling us from?
Well, I'm in my studio, a studio that I'm running called Dreamland, and it's in Hurley, New York, which is really basically next door to Woodstock, which is where I live.
So I'm so happy that you're joining us. Why don't I throw over to Sean here and make the introduction. So Sean Glover is a drummer. He's also, I guess, an illusionist / mentalist, and he's an entrepreneur. He's got something really cool called the Drum School. So let Sean kind of tell you a bit more about it.
Right now, I teach out of my own place. I offer lessons also in the client's home and online as well. I just actually the other day started discussing things with another drummer in the area, and he lives pretty close to me, and we had a good chat on the phone. We hung out for a bit, and he's going to be a subcontracted teacher for the drum school, so I'd like to grow it that way as well.
I think it's an awesome thing. It's kind of like a throwback to the old school family doctor that would do house calls. Honestly, nowadays, you probably have a better chance of making a living teaching than going out and playing professionally, gigging. I mean, it's a tough world, music business.
How did you get into the studio gigging aspect of things? Because that is something that I'm interested in.
Well, that was cheating. I cheated because I have an older brother who's an extremely successful drummer. He opened doors for me. He helped me get started. My brother recommended me through a group that was on Columbia Records. He had done the record they asked him if he would tour with them, and he didn't because he was doing sessions. So he said he recommended me. This is, I'm like 16. So I went and I played with them, and they were like, "This is great. You're our guy." And so that's how it got started. I got so lucky because not long after that, I auditioned to play in a band called Orleans. We ended up going out to LA, making a record, and there was a song on the record called "Still the One," which I don't know about up there, but here it's on the radio still all the time. The lead guy in Orleans quit about a year and a half later. I was just devastated. Somehow I was given a cassette tape of an English artist named Peter Gabriel. Once I started working with Peter, then things they snowballed, So I was very lucky. Really, that's how it all began. I mean, you have to be good and you have to be lucky.
In addition to drums, I mean, you're also a producer, like you're a multi-instrumentalist, and you've worked with so many amazing artists. So my question is, you're talking about luck and talent and all these things. Is there a common thread between what makes a piece of music really great?
The cold hard fact is there's a gazillion great records that have never seen the light of day. The reality is, the way the industry works is the label has to put money behind an artist, they can break an artist. The proof of that is when you listen to the radio and you hear something that's not particularly good, but it's a hit. But I would say, if you start with a great song, if you have great music, that's a good starting point. If you have a great artist, that's another factor. But there's a lot of that, so then you have to be lucky to get some kind of notoriety. In the old days, if your record is in Sam the Record Band, who's going to know? I mean, unless when you walk in the door, there's a cardboard cutout of Sean, promoting his record. I don't know of a formula, I don't. I will say this for artists now, it's become more single song oriented.
What advice would you have for me now that you know my sort of take on things and in the businesses that I'm running?
I don't have any magic suggestion as to how to go about. Do it and love it, and don't try to prove anything to anybody. Just prove to yourself. And guys I know that are really great that don't come across great because they just try too hard. They try too hard to play too much. You don't have to be like Eddie Van Halen here and then Steve Lukather here and then Steve Vai in this part of the song. You don't have to do that. Just be you. Be you and come up with something that's you, that put your stamp on it.
Jerry, as this show, the series is called The Next Level, knowing that a Zoom call just won't cut it, and you don't have to say yes now, I'd like to invite you to meet us in person at our summit on June 21st. We'd like to invite you to take this to the next level with us.
Yeah, awesome. I'd love to come up.
Because we'd like to sort of connect you with Sean in person, and let's see if we can just sort of create something really special by putting these two amazing drumming minds together.
I love going to Canada, and we haven't been able to do that very much in the last year and a half or so. So,
Jerry, thank you so much for being a part of this. And Sean, did you have any sort of temporary parting words with Jerry? Because I believe this will be the beginning of a new friendship.
That's great. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really respect the work that you've done over the years, and appreciate your sound and approach to drumming. So.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jerry, I want to thank you very much for being a part of this, and until we meet again.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sean. Good luck with your school. I want to come up and check it out, and hopefully we'll do that later on this month.
Sean, I want to ask you how you feel about that experience of being connected to Jerry Murado.
That was great. I really enjoyed speaking with him today, and in connecting with him, I think I've gained even more confidence going forward with my business in the drum school.
I'm really looking forward to connecting you two in person and taking this to the next level at the summit on the 21st. So looking forward to that happening, and thanks for being a part of this experience.
Thank you so much. It was great.
The power of the drum is both an ancient sound and a signal to the future, because no matter what life throws at you, the beat always goes on. Catch you next time on The Next Level.